Hey guys, we are in day 200 in our Bible reading plan. Big day, Galatians chapters 1 through 3. We're starting another book, 23 books down, not many to go. Some of these are going to be really short books, including today's study of the epistle that Paul wrote to the church in Galatia. We're also in Proverbs 25 verses 1 through 14, also on par to finish Proverbs soon. Hey, the greatest news in all the world is that we are saved not by our works, but by the grace of God, through faith in Jesus Christ. This is the gist of what we're going to study in Galatians. Galatians is one of the epistles that Paul wrote, the only non-prison epistle. It's written a little bit before the events of Acts 15. What was happening in this church that Paul had started was that there was this argument where the Jewish Christians, the Judaizers they're called, were saying that you cannot be saved unless you're circumcised and abiding by the law. And this is a huge deal. And one of the natural implications of that is that because they were seeding this false teaching, which people were buying into, in fact, even Peter almost bought into it. We see in the Acts 15 unfold. Paul wrote this letter a few months before the council, the Jerusalem council, where they discussed this matter. And so the tone of Paul is hard and strong and intense because this is such an important matter that is the difference between life and death, salvation and lack of salvation. And so he starts the book by reminding them of his apostleship, not to prove a point that he's so cool, but because they were critiquing that he, once they want to undermine truth, what do? They undermine the teacher of the truth. And so he was reminding them, look, I'm not an apostle by my own doing. I'm not here to please man. By the way, Galatians 1:10, an immensely applicable verse to many areas of life. Who are you seeking to please, man or God? Circle that. Galatians 1:10, memorize it, live by it. It applies to so many things. But here he's saying, when it comes to living the Christian life and following your calling and standing on the truth, we are here to please God, not man. And so don't be fooled by people who come and give you these little things that tickle the ears here and there. And so the first two chapters, really, he's sort of summarizing his testimony, one of the most direct testimonies of Paul. He didn't jump straight into, going on to be an itinerant preacher. He was 14 years. He was trained by the brother of James and discipled. I mean, Paul really put in his time, and then he hits it in chapter 3. He comes to them. By the way, he reminds them at the end of chapter 2, another incredible verse where he hints in chapter 2 that even Peter didn't see the truth, and that their way of living was not in step with the truth of the gospel. Again, examine your life. Are you in step with the truth of the gospel in verse 14 of chapter 2? And then verse 20 of chapter 2, a must memorize verse. This is who we are in Christ. We are not our own. We've been crucified. Christ lives in us. And now he hits the issue in chapter 3. Listen, we're all the same in Christ. It doesn't matter if you're a Jew or a Christian or, wherever you're Muslim. If you have received Christ in your heart, you are now a new creation. And that is not by your own doing. It is a gift. It is a gift by faith through grace. And it is all Jesus all the time. He became sin so that we would know no sin. And so he finishes chapter 3 with this reminder: there's neither Jew nor Greek, there's neither slave nor female, there's no male or female, for you're all one in Christ. Do you believe this? Do you really believe that it doesn't matter? On your best day, you are no more worthy of the gospel than on your worst day. Christ died for us in our sin because of his willingness to become sin for our sake. Do you believe it? Do you embrace it? Do you come to Christ knowing that every day we sin, but we come to him knowing that we are forgiven and that we are striving toward a life of greater fruitfulness? We're going to cover how tomorrow. In the meantime, rejoice in what Christ has done for us.